All right, I want to talk about something I think is an amazing breakthrough. I have never seen another voice option like this, AI calling system, that has this function, but we found it was incredibly important. We have to create it. And here's why. I was running out the accident attorneys and I was watching the few people who actually did call back and try the demo out. And here I thought I understood what they would want to say and how they'd want to react, but they said different things. One of them, instead of talking about a big accident, he said the guy behind him bumped him in the car and he got the license plate info, but he feels like he got a little whiplash and he wants to be able to sue him for the 3 days he had to take off work or whatever. It's like, what? That's it? And apparently, that's the kind of thing that happens a lot for some accident attorneys. And other guys who called had different questions for the caller. Well, it's kind of weird when your caller is sort of overreacting to, oh, I'm so sorry to hear about the neck bump you got, the whiplash scenario or the potential whiplash situation, and asking all these big questions about, was there a police report? Were there witnesses involved? And all that was overkill for the call. And I realized, wow, some guys, when they have an assistant running on their behalf, um, they want the assistant to perform a certain way. And when they listen to an assistant do something different like that, and they feel like they have no control over the assistant, then they feel like they cannot use the option, right? And then also, we have to build those subsections so if people call in through our dispatch system, we don't treat it all like it's got to be some great big huge issue where your knee got blown out by a car bumper, when your leg got shattered. No, it could be quite simple. And it's like, well, okay, if the conversation moves in that direction, don't ask every question under the sun, but what do we need to ask? Well, that's the advantage of listening to other guys with their calls, right? Which led us to realize something. Are we supposed to give everyone access, like to their own sheet, and say, hey, decide what you want to put on for your first message and then for your prompts? Decide what options you want for your prompts and decide what you want for your pitch. What are the options you're going to want to try out for your pitch and your call to action? Then we realize, oh, that's pretty insane, right? Are all these guys supposed to have a login and supposed to go through all the fine print and figure out what they want to type? And we realize they don't need to, do they? We can do this in a much better way, can't we? And here's what we did. And this is, to my mind, new. I've never seen this out there. And this is huge. Imagine that you're calling your own assistant because you're testing it out. I am that accident attorney. I went ahead and got it and I called and I'm testing it out. I'm trying it out. I'm pretending to be the guy who had the accident or whatever it is. And this can apply to any industry. It could be roofing or anything. Okay. Say my assistant kind of goes off the rails in a way I don't like. Guess what? What if I can just say the magic word to get the program to stop and make my notes? And it will acknowledge that it got my notes, ask any questions, and once it got my notes, I can say, all right, let's get back to the call. And it goes back to the call. But it made the notes. And then further into the call, say it went off the rails again. It went this way when I wanted to go that way, or didn't include something I wanted it to include. So I again tell it to, hey, pause, go through this. All right, I want you to do this, not that, etc., etc. Okay, you got it? All right, resume the call in a way. And so we created some very simple, easy reminder keywords that people won't think to say. But if our guys say it, it'll work. It'll stop the call. And the assistant will ask for the notes. And what do you think it's going to do with all those notes? After the call, when the call's evaluated, one thing that's checked for are those notes. And then based on the notes, our system will go back in and rewrite through all the related prompts for that guy, all the possibilities where that same change should happen. Like maybe he called and he just got this one, but he's got 4 active. What's he supposed to, whoops, what's he supposed to do? Call 4 times to check this one out and check that one out, check that one out, where he doesn't even have control over this because he doesn't have access to the files. So we just said, use your head, right? AI can use its brain to figure where that situation applies more than once. So it can make the changes wherever applicable. All through first messages, prompts, pitches, call to actions, wherever these things need to be changed, whatever the change was. So all the cases, that happen to be active, right? It will go through and make those updates within that group, right? Unless the guy specifies for all my groups. Isn't that neat? We decided we can take it far. We can have it choose a different voice. We can have it name the company differently. And we decided that what if the guy makes a bunch of changes and they don't work out as well as he thought? He can call back and notice that there were some new problems and go, oh, I shouldn't have done that. It's affecting more than I realized it affected. He can revert it or restore it to the way it was before with the magic password, which is something very easy to know, but something nobody would tend to say. So no one calling in will accidentally say it. But if you call in and you know what you're doing, you can say it. And if you do, it'll go into that subroutine. Just like having a stop loop for take me off your list. Anytime somebody asks for that, we don't call them anymore. We put them on a do not call list. They're good to go. We thank them for their time. And that's it. We end the call. Isn't that cool? So the fact that people can call and check. And how long does it take? Say he calls and makes changes and hangs up. How long does he have to wait to be able to call back again? About a minute. If he waits 2 minutes, he's good to go. He can call back and he'll notice the changes are there. So he can make sure it's good to go. If there's a problem, he can restore it and therefore do it again. Or if everything's fine, he can just keep making more notes if he needs to, if there's more things to change, until he's happy with it. How far could you take that? You could recreate everything. You could change the industry, you could change the hours, you could change the company, you could change the phone number, you could change the voice, you could change the accent, you could change the name of the assistant who answers the phone. You could change everything you want from here without needing a computer at all to control your voice bots. And that works for your live, or that works for your lead qualification bots. That works for your cold calling bots. So we made it work here in these drive files. We also made it work in the assistants where we need to update system prompts here, like directly inside these boxes. So we now have the ability to update everything, every one of these things for whatever it is, whatever's going on. We can update them just by using the right passwords. And the passwords can be changed. If the guy calls in and says, I want to change my password to this other thing I'll remember better, that nobody else will know. The guy can do that. How's that for crazy? So by giving this control to individuals to be able to change bots that affect them from the phone, they can train their assistants like they were talking to them live while driving in the car, without having to think or go to a computer first or send notes to anyone or hand type through all this stuff again and figure out where did it mess that up? Where did it mess that up? Where else is it messing that up? I got to go in there and change the wording and save it and all that stuff. No, they don't have to. Isn't that something? They can do it all from here. All right, I'm going to let you go with that thought. But this is huge. It's something we can offer. And again, we can do this for companies' native websites and or websites we create for them. And one of the best advantages in the world is even if we're putting on their websites, if they're getting traffic and we're taking the calls on, all the calls that they don't want, we can reroute to other guys in their area who do want those calls. So if they're too busy to take them on, or they don't work with underage drinkers or whatever it is, we can reroute the calls to other guys. So we can make money from their website by taking what they would consider the trash. Their trash is another company's treasure. We are more efficiently handling recycling of the calls to the right places through our bots. And we'll only let them know about the leads that are beneficial to them so that they can pay for the ones they want. Any leads they don't want to pay for, we reroute. So even leads that are perfectly good for them, if they're too busy and don't want them, we can reroute them. So whether we're putting our scripts on their sites or on our sites or both, it's all good. It's all good stuff. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, this is the stuff that kind of had us bogged down to catch it up so that we could offer the swath of better options to companies. And that's what we're doing now. Okay, it's 11 minutes into the call, or this recording, so I'm going to break it off. Hope you like that. It's fascinating, and it does really open doors for DML because it means lots more leads getting efficiently pushed through to the right places by people who are very happy with the tools they got. Okay.